warm welcome to Yoli.
Hola, buenos días a todos y todas. Good morning, everyone. I'm the president of LCS. Thank you. I know many of you know me. And once again, we need to work together. I need your help. So, well, I already present myself, Yolanda Martinez Llamas. I will present Vice President Greg DiStefano, Secretary Nancy De Salsa, Treasurer Tim Wortman, Director Hunter Jensen, Director Madera Glenn, Director Linda Goman, Director Stephen Graham,
Steve, raise your hand.
where are you? Director Greg Custer, Director George Radford, Director John Henry, Director Michael Platt. I saw him, so hola. Past President, Acting Executive Director Steve Balfour, Director of Education Victor Camarena, Director of Finance and Administration, Susana Lopez. Education and Culture Coordinator, Erika Morales. Thank you very much, all of you. Muchísimas gracias a todos. I would like to call Director of Education, Victor Camarena, so he can tell us a little bit of what he does.
Hey, Victor.
Buenos días, good morning. Well, I'm the first one. That's exciting, I guess. Anyway, I'm Victor Camarena. I've been in this position for over a year. I started June 2023, and it's been a happy ride. I really, really enjoy working at LCS. I love the motto, people helping people. I think that's what we do here at LCS. And my role as the Director of Education is to really help expats to navigate Mexico in an easy way. From learning Spanish to get your Mexican driver license, to learn about Mexican manners, and all in between. It's been really, really exciting to be able to help you in this process. In regards to the Mexican community, we also have wonderful programs. We have ESL, English as a second language. We have a photography class for youth. We have a pottery class for kids. We also have a lab with computers. So we have an array of activities, programs, and not only educational, but also recreational. We just went to Plaza Andares last week. The month before, we went to Tlaquepaque. In November, we're gonna go to Costco to help you to buy your items for Thanksgiving. So we have an array of activities, fun, educational, and more important, to network, to be able to help you to meet other people. So that's what I do. And I'm always looking for new ideas. If you have any new idea of a new class, a new activity, please let me know, and I'll be happy to try to accommodate it for you. I also left some flyers on the shelves. We're going to have a bunch of activities to celebrate the Day of the Dead. So please, that one, thank you, Melody. So take a look at that, and hopefully you will be able to join us. So I'm happy and thrilled to have a new staff on the Education Department. Her name is Erika Morales. She just started a few weeks ago, and she's been a great asset to the department. So welcome, Erika, come on in.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for your warm welcome.
I'm very excited to be taking over this position. So I'm working together with Victor, so all the events and organizing everything will go smoothly. And I'm also teaching the Spanish classes, Spanish in Action. There are many students, and I'm really excited to be able to teach them about the grammar, how to use it in daily situations, and I also encourage all of you to join these classes in the next cycle. It's very fun, and I really like being the teacher. So like Victor said, we work together at the education office, so if you need anything, we'll be there to help you out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I move on to the next person, I do have to tell you that this organization only works with donations, and many of you know all the wonderful programs we have, over 100 programs for Mexican and expats. I have a wonderful experience. Many of you know that we are doing construction, the new building and Red Cross, because our building that we have is sinking. So many people is helping to make that happen. But one of the most wonderful experience that happened there, and I was so surprised, is the health department requires an architect from the area to be checking. And I was so surprised that one day I asked this architect to come to LCS to check something that we needed to be checked. And after he finished, we say, how much? And his response was, nothing. And I said, nothing? He goes, you know who paid for my career? The student aid. LCS made it happen. His family couldn't afford to pay for his career, and all of you, with your donations for that, now he's a wonderful architect. I mean, stop by, they're doing great. They come and check him, and I'm so proud of him. So we called him again to come and check the Wills Center, the area, so he can help us to see, different areas. So as you see, all these will work with your wonderful donations. This wonderful area, this wonderful place for expats, Mexicans, needs to continue, needs to work with all of your wonderful hearts. Thank you. So I will call Director of Finance and Administration, Susana Lopez, so she can introduce herself.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Mi nombre es Susana. Hi, everyone. My name is Susana Lopez. I'm very happy and very excited to be here with you. I have been living in the area for 5 years, and since the first time that I came here to LCS, for me, this place was like magic, just to see all people helping people. For us, for Mexicans, for me, was very exciting to see how a community works, doing all kind of things together, even though so many people live by themselves. It's just to be here as a family. You can find a lot of people here doing different things, sharing histories. So for me to be now part of LCS is like a very hard, very, a commitment for me to be part of this. And in administration and finance, that is very important area to do the best that I can. I have been in the administration area for a long time. I studied public accounting 30 years ago. I was working in different kind of companies, international companies, Mexican companies. So for me now is the opportunity to, with all the experience that I have in the past, to participate, to collaborate in here, to help LCS to be a better place, to be a connection with all the departments that have a very nice programs as education and all the people that is getting the donations that we require, and try to set all that information in numbers. Numbers, as you know, are black and white. So we need to present you the numbers, and you can see what this place is doing and what is happening in here. So I'm very happy to be here. And anytime if you need something from the Department of Administration, you can go and to my office, and I'm very happy to help. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm a little nervous to talk in English with all this kind of.
You did great. You did wonderful. I'll give you this, Johnny. You can direct us. Do you want the questions now, or are you going to continue introducing?
We have 3 questions is also fine.
But-
If people want to talk a little bit about themselves.
Yeah. If we have any more questions, please raise your hand. Oh, we got another one. Okay, great. Just questions that you want to ask the board. I know some people are waiting to hear what they say before they ask the question, but.
You didn't say anything.
Greg, you going to say what?
Well, maybe we could have Isaias come up and tell us a little bit about what he does with IT administration.
Oh, Isaias!
He's a big part of the team here.
Yay! He thought he was going to get away with it. The backbone of every Sunday. We're very grateful to him.
Hi everyone, my name is Isaias. I am the IT coordinator. Okay. I'm the IT coordinator here, not just the sound guy. And what I do here is I try to fix problems, fix computers, but I don't fix people. And also one of my task is to improve systems. We have been improving some of them in LCS, some old systems, like the point of sales, where you can buy the tickets, classes, etc. The last years, I was helping with that project, and we just recently improved the library. It's a new system, easy for the librarians, easy for the members, and yeah, I help also with. I help people too. People helping people. Also, I help with the website, the Open Circle website, and the Lake Chapala Society website. Thank you.
And not only is a great talent, he's just a wonderful person. We're very grateful to him.
Okay, Yoli's asking me to say a few words about myself.
Stand up.
Again, my name is Greg DiStefano. I've been living in Ajijic for 6 years. Everybody says, "Why are you here? Why did you come here?" And I just have this pat response. No more corporate jobs, no more New England winters, and no more U.S. politics. So I spent a career doing marketing and public relations, half the time in New York City and half the time in my home state of Rhode Island. And I've been helping with marketing and communications with LCS. And I'm really proud and excited to be part of the team and to keep making this place more effective and stronger in every possible way. Thank you.
I don't like doing this. I'm Tim Boardman. I've been the treasurer at LCS now for almost 6 years in March. Originally, you can't tell I'm from England. I don't have an accent, you do. Went to Canada for a couple of years, stayed for 36, and then decided to move south so I didn't have to shovel the weather anymore. I looked to volunteer. I've been down here now for almost 8 years. Looked to volunteer, give back. They needed a treasurer. I didn't know that. I volunteered to sit on a committee and then became the treasurer 3 weeks later. But that's kind of the way it goes. Thoroughly enjoy it. Glad to be here.
I agree, Tim, you don't have an accent. Just that low.
Hi, I'm Nancy D'Souza.
Yes, it's on.
I'm Nancy D'Souza.
Put up your mouth.
I am the new secretary of LCS Board of Directors. some of you saw me boring you to tears at the extraordinary meeting, reading through all of the bylaw changes. And then they said, oh, you did a good job with that. Would you like to join the board? And I joined the board, and 5 minutes later I was secretary because Tim was ready to step back into a regular board member position. And I'm happy to do it. I have a background in Oregon State government as an executive director and have served on a number of boards and commissions. I'm passionate about good governance, which is how I got engaged just as a member in looking at the bylaws and seeing what had caused some of the problems that led to controversy. And we fixed some of those. There's going to be a new governance and bylaws committee being formed. We're going to be doing a deep dive into the bylaws to see if there's anything else that we need to do and have ready for the annual general meeting in March. So if you are interested in that and have a background, we would love to have you talk to, is it George who's the chair?
Yes.
Hunter. Yeah, Hunter has stepped out, I think, for a bit, but talk to Hunter, or if you hear of a listening session that we will be announcing, because we do want to have those to find out what you want LCS to be in the future. Some of that is really based in how we govern ourselves. There's also going to be listening sessions and a committee for LCS, we're calling it 3.0. I hope all of you, if you haven't already, will go online and read the LCS 2.0 plan that was written in 2019, and it's an amazing document. It's got lots of information about our role in this community in supporting Mexicans and expats and bringing people together and how we're going to do it. The part that needs really looking at is what has changed in the past 5 years. What do we need for our facilities? Obviously, the need for the new bathrooms was not in the LCS 2.0 plan. COVID wasn't in the 2.0 plan. Things have changed. So we're not throwing out the baby with the bathwater, taking the best of 2.0 and moving it forward. So there'll be a committee for that, and there'll be listening sessions and work sessions for that. So I encourage you all to go online and read that. Thank you.
Are we ready for the question? Steve? Oh.
Well, I'm Steve Balfour, and I'm like everybody else on the stage. I'm a volunteer. I'm the volunteer executive director here. And so we have all kinds of things going on here. I came to town 8 years ago, last month, and got involved with LCS for the same reason probably all of you got involved. You came here and were amazed and touched by it, all that it's done not only for the expat community, but what's done for the Mexican community. And I'm very proud that in the years that I've been involved here, our involvement with the Mexican community has greatly expanded and increased. So we have a tremendous amount that's going on. It's really great collaboration. You know, somebody said to me in the beginning, your job is to build a bridge between the expats and the Mexican community. I said, here's my challenge with that. A bridge implies that there's a permanent obstacle in the middle, like a river or something, right? And I said, no, my job is not to build a bridge, it's to build collaborations, hand in hand, working together. So we have a tremendous amount of things going on in this community, and even teaching ESL for the firefighters here, which is helpful to both sides of the table. But you know, with our concerts, we mentor local people from the community here. Every single concert has employed people from the Latino community to be part of it, to learn new skills and what have you. So there's a tremendous amount more going on and a lot more to go. So thank you.
Would you like to read the question?
Sure, yeah. Okay, now we've got about 4 or 5. Anyone got any late questions to come in? Oh, you haven't got another one yet? Okay, thank you. Well, let's see. This one's for Victor. All right, Victor. How does one get involved in assisting in the teaching English program?
Okay. So ESL, or Teaching English, is one of our largest programs. So we teach them at Wilkes. Have any of you been at Wilkes? No? Well, very few of you. So Wilkes is just like 2 blocks up the street. It's on Galeana. It's a beautiful old building. It's where we teach ESL. So we're always looking for teachers. You don't have to have any experience on teaching. The only thing that we require is that you love to work with the community. If you are interested, we always welcome new teachers. So get in touch with me, and then I will put you in touch with the coordinator of ESL. Her name is Inez, and she's always looking for new teachers. Thank you for that question.
Okay. Yeah, another requirement is that you do speak English, right? And Victor, how can we, so this week, if we want to get in touch with you, how do we do that? Where do we go?
Okay, my office is right behind this little house. It's the West Campus or Molinari House. And I also have my business card with me. Or send me an email. It's really easy. education@lcsac.org. I'm here Monday to Friday, some Saturdays, 9 to 5.
Okay.
And you can just come to my office. We'll be happy to see you there. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we got the next question is for Steve and then Madeira. So, joint answer here. What's the best way to give to LCS? Can we designate a specific program to be the beneficiary?
So there's a whole bunch of ways to give to Lake Chapala Society. From just the technicality of how to physically do it, you can either go online to our website, there's a Donate Now button, or in our office also through our reservation system called Gift Cloud. Everything's processed there. You can do a reoccurring gift, so you can give a monthly gift, one that's automatically charged every month to you. So those are the technical ways to do it. And then if you have programs that you're specifically interested to, you could mention that you'd like things to go into that direction. And we'll put that in the records and maintain that. The different forms of fundraising we have our annual fund, which are the emails that go out, and we've gotten some great response off those. Thank you so much for that. We have the concerts and the other events, the tequila tasting, the wine tasting, or the wine drinking, I'm sorry, Phil. And the concerts, all of those add to what make this possible. Only the membership revenue only accounts for about almost 25% of our total budget. So it's really a small part of our budget. We need to go far beyond that. And that's where these other things have stepped in and are really making that difference. Also programs, people that register for a class, that's a very important part of our revenue as well. And then Madeira, who chairs our Fund Development Committee, she might have some more to add.
Oh my goodness, okay. Thanks, Steve. So what can I add to what Steve has just said? First of all, it's really obvious to me and important to me and something I'm working on.
Hold the microphone up.
No, can't hear. How about that? Is that better? Okay, awesome. So one of the first things I noticed that we needed to focus on was the recurring contributions, the new contributions. If you're a member and you haven't contributed for a while, we want you back. And the major contributors who keep us afloat, frankly. You know, Steve touched on operating expenses and how membership helps to do that and events help to do that. But what really keeps us above water are the major donors who we bless and we appreciate. And my goal is to make sure that you know that more tomorrow than you do today. So we're going to put out, we just had a special meeting about it 2 days ago. We're going to reach out to you and invite you to come meet with us one-on-one. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your concerns and what it would take for you to stay committed to LCS as you always have in the past. And then we're going to throw a little party for you. So that's going to be announced later on. So hopefully that answers your questions about how to contribute. Contribute any way you see fit. Tell us how you want your money assigned. And then if you're contributing at a level that you have in the past and want to continue doing that and you want to meet with us one-on-one, we're all ready to do that, especially me. So the office can reach all of us, and I look forward to getting to know you better and to letting you know us better.
Thank you, Madeira. Can you give the mic to Greg?
Can you talk about the difference between restricted and the importance of unrestricted gifts?
Okay, so let's see. That's a big question. So restricted and unrestricted means if you have a very specific project that you want to commit to, you're going to say, I want this money to go to the bath. Yes. Okay. I'm so used to talking so loud, I have to tame it down. So this is new. Okay. So if you just say I'm contributing to LCS, it's going to go to operating. Yes, that goes to operating. Yes, which is absolutely critical and crucial, and we appreciate that. If you want to contribute to a particular project, a particular love that you have, a particular interest, you name that. And there's a way to do that online. And that's never going to be any different from what you assigned. In other words, a lot of you contributed to the new bathrooms, which were so costly and so important and so well done. And you said, I want this going to the bathrooms, and that helped us get that done.
Yeah?
Next question.
Yeah, next question. Steve, don't get comfortable. This is for you. Now, you mentioned some time ago about an open circle, translation of some sort of methodology for translating English and Spanish to make it more collaborative. Now, the question is, what happened about the translation equipment discussed a year ago here in Open Circle so local speakers could be invited?
Yes, that's something that we would love to do that. It goes all the way back to the Terry days. He was very much on that page too. And when he was here, we worked together and tried a system for that. And the system didn't work. The particular presentation that stands out was Aurora, who's from one of the financial institutions here and used to be on our board. She was doing a presentation on how do you open an investment account in Mexico and so on and so forth. And there was a certain word every time that she said it as one of the requirements, the word pizza would come up on the screen. So no, you don't need a pizza in order to open an account in Mexico. One of the few things you don't need. But so there's real challenges. There isn't an affordable system here. We'd love to have, you know, a read board up here or something, or the digital board or off to the side that could translate things. The technology just isn't there for in our affordable budget. You know, the United Nations has things like that, but that's mega expensive. They have a much bigger budget. So we haven't found anything that works. If we forced every presenter at Open Circle to stick to a script, we could translate their script and just have their script rolling in Spanish. But that's not realistic, that most speakers don't stick to a script. They answer questions, when they see the audience interest in a particular point, they go more in that direction and what have you. And so that system really hasn't worked in the Open Circle environment. So we'd love something, if somebody knows something, speak up to us and share it with us. But it is one of our challenges, yes.
All right, thank you very much. I know that it is a real technical challenge. And the future with AI and ChatGPT, maybe, you just hold your phone up, listen to it, and you'll get the translation in your ear. Sorry about your Spanish lessons, but but you know, I think the future holds great possibilities regarding translation and having you know, more Spanish speakers presenting and more Mexicans in the audience. That would be great. Now we have two questions. One for well, we've got Tim and Greg here. It's a sort of two-part, okay? It's a similar question on two cars. So the first question was, just how serious is the current operating deficit? And the second question is asked in a slightly different way. If LCS has a financial debt, how much and why?
I'd like to take the second one first, because it's the easiest. There is no debt to LCS. When I first joined, there was a debt. There was a vendor take that mortgage on the South Campus, but that was paid off 5 years ago?
6 years ago,
Yeah.
before COVID.
So no, there is no debt. The second one, yeah, I don't like the word deficit. I'd like to stand here and say they have a surplus this year. I'd be lying, but I'd like to. Any deficit, you cannot run an organization like this on a deficit in the long term. As Madeira said, we're looking for donations. Donate often. And you know, I am not happy with the deficit. It's currently it's probably currently in the 500,000 to 600,000 peso range for the year to date. But again, how do you plan for donations? One large donation could reverse the entire year.
Great. And there was also, Greg was mentioned on the...
Yes, I can add to that. Every year we start off with a budget, which we did this year. An exciting piece of information is that membership is back up to about 50 members less than it was pre-COVID. So membership's doing terrific, and income from programs, membership and concerts is completely on track for the budget. What happened this year and why we're running this deficit that Tim mentioned is that donations have been way down this year. We can only surmise that maybe it was because of the cantankerous political season for the year, but for some unknown reason, donations really dropped off this year. We're hoping to turn that around and actually end up completely fine this year and with a surplus next year. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Greg. And remember, you can't take it with you. You know, and what a way to leave a legacy. There's no better than to leave the money to LCS. Then the next question. Okay, this one's for, again, Steve and then Hunter. Oh, wait, just woke up. What's going on? Steve, first of all, Steve, what volunteer positions are available and are needed most?
Well, boy, we have a whole bunch. We have about 300 volunteers that make this organization possible. And right over here, we have the wonderful Wendy. Wendy, raise your hands. Wendy's our volunteer coordinator, and you're on the blue patio or in the cafe on Mondays from what time to what time?
10:30 to 12.
10:30 to 12. So she'd love to have you come over and get you into the system. Some of the key positions, sort of more leadership positions, we're looking for somebody that can really help manage our GiveCloud system. So GiveCloud is our reservation system. That's what all transactions go through there. And also our space reservation system. So if somebody wants to have a meeting here at Lake Chapala Society or wants to start a new activity or what have you, then you would connect with this person in order to schedule that, and this person would outline what the qualifications are for the meeting, whether it's a nonprofit group or it's a for-profit group, whether it's an ongoing or one time, and so on and so forth. So really a space reservations person is one of the other key positions that we need. I know Madeira always loves having more people in fundraising, so some people misunderstand how a board works. Most of the work of a board of directors is done in committee. That's the proper way for it to work. And so the committees is where all the action is. And we have the finance committee, which is Tim's committee. We have fundraising committee. In the back is Hunter, which he handles the board development committee. So that's looking for new board members, committee members, and what have you. Keeping track of our documentations of some things and so on and so forth. We have Greg right here in the middle, who is at this committee, Open Circle, and I know he's looking for some people here. I think he's looking for a logistics person that can every Sunday be here. We can rely on you to make sure logistics are set up in place and make those tough decisions in the early morning, where we're going to set up if it looks like rain, those types of things. So there's a tremendous amount of positions available for volunteering, and your key start point is with Wendy Monday on the blue patio.
Okay, thank you, Steve. I also, Nancy wanted Hunter just to make a comment about...
Thanks. I think the question was specifically addressed about board positions. And the answer that I would say... Oh, somebody's waving, I'm not sure. Can you not hear me? Okay.
Come to the front.
Okay, I don't know that. But I'll walk up here where you can see me. So that's, I don't know that I'm much to look at.
Watch out for the feedback.
Yeah, I don't want to run into that. In any event, we will have at the annual general meeting next year, there will be the secretary's position, or not the secretary, I'm sorry, the treasurer's position will be open. Tim has done a masterful job for 6 years, but he does term out. So we're looking for somebody who would be a great treasurer, and that requires some kind of financial background, not necessarily a CPA, but that helps. But if you've been an auditor or been in other kinds of organizations where you've been responsible for keeping track of finances, that would be great. The other positions that are open are the Vice President, and, no, I take it back. I don't think the Vice President is open.
All 4 positions are open. Because Yoli's finishing an unexpired term.
Okay.
I'm finishing an unexpired term. Greg's finishing an unexpired term. So.
I don't think Greg's position, I think the VP, well, maybe you're right. Well, anyway, all right. So I thought there were only 3. So if we've got 4, then we're looking for people for any of those offices. And the specific committee that will be selecting those, or recruiting for those, is the nominating committee, which will be appointed by the board in November. So if you have any interest on serving on that, you can reach me. The office knows how to reach me, or if you're on campus on Mondays and Fridays for sure, I'm usually around the Mudlark studio, so you can find me there. Or my email, if you care, is real simple. It's hunter@hunterjohnson.us, so fairly easy to remember. The other thing I would just like to add is that we are looking for bilingual photographers. We have a wonderful kids photography program that for the local kids here is another one of our outreach programs. And we have, we've lost a couple of photographers who were bilingual who helped us teach that. So we have 8 to 10 kids most of the year. And we'd love to have somebody, so if you're not a photographer or not bilingual, but you know somebody who is, I'd love to have that referral too. So you can get in touch with me for that through Victor. So, all right, thanks.
Right, thank you, Hunter. You can hand the mic to Alex there. Okay, any more questions before we continue?
Actually, I have one.
Oh, you have one? Okay.
I do. So since raising your hand that you want to volunteer is so important, if a person can't be here during, Wendy, I believe her name is, the short window of opportunity, what's an email or what's an easier way for them to say, I want to volunteer?
Wendy?
Okay, the question was, can you repeat the question for those who made
The best starting point is actually going on the website and filling in the application, because I can't really do anything until I have your information. And then we can find out which department you'd like. So go on the website and check out services, and at the very bottom it says volunteer. And click, and you'll see an application and fill it in, and I'll get it, and I'll respond, and I look forward to seeing you on a Monday.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you very much. And it's incredibly rewarding. Not only for 11 years here, and it's great, it's wonderful. So, no better place to spend your time than helping others. Okay, this one's for Steve. Is there a US address to donate to? I can give you mine if you like.
So donations are a little bit complicated. Back when all of us were much younger, it was a customary thing when you're donating to a nonprofit to say that you want a tax receipt for you. The tax benefits to donating have greatly changed, first of all. That's one factor. The other is we are not, so in the United States, charities, in order to accept donations that you can deduct off your taxes, need to be a 501c3, but there's some other categories too. Clubs are a different thing, you know, the baseball league and all those are different numbers, stuff like that. So 501c, and then 3 is mostly the charitable organization. If they have such a status, then you can make a donation to them and put it on your taxes. However, the tax benefit is very minimal. It really amounts when you're making a larger donation where this question really comes into play. Here in Mexico, the organizations here are not 501c3s in the United States, and for the most part cannot be, okay? I know there's one exception, and there's possibly 2 exceptions, and there's a third working on it, and we've investigated several times, and just the complications of it make it very, very difficult, and there's many criteria. So there is a committee of people right now that are meeting every 3 weeks to discuss how organizations here in Mexico can benefit from tax benefits in the United States and even in Canada. But it's a very complex process. We have lawyers working with us on that team and what have you. There is something here called the Foundation for Lake Chapala Society, Foundation for Lakeside charities. There you go. And they're a 501c3 in the United States. They can accept donations, and then they can sort of be a pass-through and pass the money on to an organization here. In order for them to pass through, though, that organization has to be sort of, it's kind of the equivalent type of organization here in Mexico as what you'd see in the United States. A little bit different, but in Mexico, there's two categories of organizations, the nonprofits. One is called an AC, Association Civil. That's what is most common. There's a donatario status, so if you are a Mexican resident, you're doing Mexican taxes and need something to declare on your Mexican taxes, you need to have the organization needs to have a donatario status. I personally don't know of any organization that has a donatario status. Okay, it's not, they're not handing them out on the street corners, you know, there's very few organizations that have that. And here in Lakeside, there's actually a small number of organizations that are actually associations civils. There's many organizations that do many great things, but they don't have the AC classification. So the Foundation for Lakeside Charities had to change. They were forced to change their policies on how they pass through money. And now they feel they can only pass it through to organizations that are associations civil. So their list of charities went from this down to this in the process of doing that. Okay, a lot of it's technicality things, and that's where this other group now is meeting. I'm part of that group that meets every 3 weeks and really looks for other opportunities, other things that might be able to be done here. And so, but it's a lengthy process. We know it's a good year away from us having the results of our efforts. So that's kind of the long and short thing. So if a tax benefit is important to you, check with you. I'm not a tax expert. I cannot give tax advice. Nobody in fundraising that I've ever met can give tax advice. But if you're talking to your accountant, your person that handles your finance, your filing of your tax returns in the United States, discuss with them what you really need and what qualifies and what doesn't qualify. But right for the moment, the only option I see is donating through the Foundation for Lakeside Charities.
And how do you do that, Steve?
So how do you do that? So they have a website. You can go on their website. It'll give you all their different information. Brian Dalzell, who used to be on our board, he's on their board, and he sort of handles all the processing and what have you. So he's a great contact. So check their website under the Foundation for Lakeside Charities. Or they have, I believe it's Handymail or iShop has a P.O. box there, a post office box type thing, where you can drop off a donation there and they'll put it in their mailbox for them and they'll pick up.
Do we have a link on our webpage, and if not, can we get one?
We can look into that. There's some complexities to that, but we can look into that. Yeah. The
question was, is there a link on the webpage to do that?
Yeah. If you're making a large donation, so large $1,000 or more, and it's important to your tax in the United States, then it's worth having a conversation. You can certainly have a conversation with myself, with Tim. There's several people here that can have a conversation with you, with Susanna. They can help you with some of these things, and you know, look at your individual situation and how best to address that.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Well, LCS is an AC, right?
AC, yes. Yeah. We're an AC. We've been for a long time.
So, but
yeah.
1979.
1979, since 1979. We're an AC, yes.
Say that.
Thank you, Steve. Any more questions? We've got one left. I just wanted to ask a question before we get to this last question. How many people here came to Lakeside and LCS was a factor in their decision? I know for me it was. Yeah. So it's this place has incredible value. When I was looking at a place to retire, I did my due diligence, I looked all around, there's a lot of different factors, but probably one of the main factors was Lake Chapala Society. And I wasn't wrong. You know, when I arrived here, I did discover that it has tremendous value to the community. And personal too. You know, I've made most of my friends through LCS, and fantastic institution. Last question is a program idea. Do we have any more, by the way? Is anyone? No. Okay. This was a program idea, and it's about and this one has been identified as going to either Victor and Steve, and it's an emotional support volunteer program to visit homes, especially for senior citizens, especially the single ones or those living alone. And may even include, I'm not sure who wrote this, You wrote this? Okay. We had problems reading your script here, but can you remember the last part of the question? This part here.
It may even include Mexicans who are learning English to be volunteers.
Okay. So the comment was, so it may include Mexicans who, can improve their English by becoming volunteers. Victor and Steve, would you like to comment on that, or anyone? Sure. Yeah? Thank you.
Well, thank you for that idea. It's a wonderful idea. We're going to look into it and let's see if it's feasible. But yeah, definitely, I think it's much needed program.
And so a couple of examples of that, though, is that Alex over here, hola. So Alex, he's here as part of a school program where he does a certain number of hours for a period of time. So he's up in December, I think, it terminates, and then we'll be finding somebody new in January for that. Isaias first started over in this seat. Then he ended up becoming one of our IT coordinators here, and he's on staff now. So there's several examples where Demitsu, who's our graphic designer, she went through our student aid program, and so LCS paid for her education, and after she graduated, she was hired here to be our graphic designer, and she's bilingual. So there's more and more examples of that, where we're engaging more and more people in the community, and that's what we'd like to do a lot more. I know George, who's not able to be here today, who's the chair of our IT committee, he's looking for somebody that's bilingual, a student level, if you will, that could help out with both our website and so both our website, but also our IT needs and data management and so on and so forth. But our website is being done by Jesus, who Jesus also at one point in time sat in this chair over here as a volunteer through a school semester, and then he stepped up and became our webmaster more recently. So that's great.
Okay.
Steve, so isn't this like an app?
What occurred to me when they were reading the question was that we do have the Reaching Out program, which is still in place, and people are still using it and still signing up for it. So couldn't this be a 2.0 to Reaching Out? Like we're checking with you an email or calling, but if you need somebody to come to your house, just add on to Reaching Out?
Sure. So Madeira mentioned our Reaching Out program. Our Reaching Out program started at the very beginning of COVID, and that's also when Food Bank Lakeside started, and started with several of our board members involved with that, addressing the needs that have taken place because of COVID. Reaching Out is a program that has been popular, so it's continued on now, kind of well past COVID, but it still exists there. If you know somebody here that is sort of, maybe that lives alone is a typical scenario. Somebody lives alone that is having some health issues, a challenge, or what have you. They can sign up with almost like a buddy system or Reaching Out program, where somebody will check with them and the two of them coordinate with each other how often they check with each other, how they should check, whether it's in person or over email or phone. And if they have a deal that, okay, if I don't get an email from you, let's say, for example, by 10:30 in the morning, then 11:30 in the morning, I'm going to be calling the management office of Fractionamento to check up on you. This program has helped a lot. I've received several phone calls, and I know Yoli at the Red Cross receives several phone calls. Yoli will text me messages of a person if they find somebody in the street, or just somebody just wandered off and that has no ID and can't communicate. She'll text me a message. I'll look them up in our database if we can find them, see if any members here know them. And so that all ties to a similar program here. But the Reaching Out is a very good program. It's still going. It's still active. We're still looking for some volunteers to help out with that. So that's another opportunity.
Thank you, Steve. And a point to make about volunteers, and volunteer ideas. If you have an idea, I presume it still works this way, LCS will facilitate you sharing your talents and using that idea, share with the community. I remember once I was in the office with Terry, and someone came in and said, LCS should, I could see his eyes go on, LCS should have guitar lessons. And Terry said, great, when do you want to start? It's not LCS should, we are LCS. So we should. If you have talents, and I know there's an incredible array of talents Lakeside, If you have talents, please consider sharing them. And it's real easy. You know, you just go to the office and say, you know, I think this would be a good idea, and it just, there's a little form, it gets approved, they'll find you space. It's wonderful. So, LCS is us, you know, share it. Any more questions of people who haven't already asked one? The bells are saying with time's up. I think, yeah. Okay, Yoli, you would like to conclude?
Thank you for mentioning that every time somebody has a problem in Red Cross, unfortunately, many people dies there, and sometimes we don't have information. Please, please, please register, because this is the first resource we immediately call in order to see information about that patient. Because unfortunately, you know, there's a protocol that when somebody dies, we don't have any information or anything, they have to take them to the morgue in Guadalajara, and I wouldn't like that. Please, it's important. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here. Thank you for this great program, and let's move forward together.
Thank you, Yoli. And a big thank you to all the board members, all the volunteers, everyone who participates in LCS. It's your LCS. So it can't be done without you. Doesn't exist without you. So thank you very, very much.